If you live in Southern California or thinking of visiting, there are many weekend getaway options, and one to really consider is Navigator of the Seas, sailing out of the port of Los Angeles. You can literally take a cruise to Mexico, dine at world-class restaurants, enjoy Broadway shows, dance the night away, try your hand at blackjack, and ride the longest water slide at sea, and be back to work without missing a beat. We're going to take you through the entire weekend, and at the end of this video, we're going to total up the entire cost of this weekend trip against other popular weekend getaways, such as going to San Diego, the Central Coast, and Las Vegas. I'm your host, Matt Williams, along with my wife, Suzanne. Join us as we see the world on Travel Symphony, and make sure to subscribe for amazing destinations and travel tips. Navigator of the Seas was the very first ship class to introduce the Royal Promenade to unsuspecting cruisers back in the early 2000s, and it really had a profound effect on the cruising industry, so much so that Royal has improved on this concept throughout its entire fleet. And not unlike a typical shopping mall, this allows first-time cruisers a very familiar and essential location for many of Navigator's shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues, depending on the class of Royal ship you sail on, everything from nightclubs to karaoke bars and more. It's basically like a central location for everything, and it's one of Royal Caribbean's best innovations. On this quick tour of the Promenade, you're going to see Playmakers here on the left. They've got some great craft beer, nachos, wings, and amazing burgers, so make sure you check that out. Also, Cafe Promenade is your free place to get sandwiches, wraps, and all kinds of assorted desserts and pizza. If you're looking for Sorrento's pizza, they don't actually have one on this ship, but I think the pizza is exactly the same, and you get complimentary coffee, tea, and water. Next up is to Dry For, a very cool beauty salon to get you all ready for formal nights on Royal Caribbean cruises. Copper and Clover has an extensive menu of classics plus scotch and whiskey and beers from around the world. The Collection, perfumes, colognes, beachwear, and possibly that one thing you forgot to bring on your cruise, maybe like tanning lotions, t-shirts, and more. It's all there at The Collection. Regala, your duty-free source for luxury watches and more. There's jewelry, but make sure you watch out because prices may be higher than on land, but it is duty-free, so you got to think about the taxes that you may save on your purchases. There are also many various bars and lounges littered throughout the ship, so make sure you visit them all for bespoke menus and offerings including trivia, live music, and our favorite, dancing. Other options for coffee include Starbucks, and there's also a coffee shop on the Promenade serving Starbucks coffee as well as ice cream. One thing to note is that Starbucks is operated independently. It is not part of the Royal Coffee Beverage Program. So if you go to Starbucks, you're going to be paying full price for your coffees. Hooked seafood is an option you have available to you, and a lot of people have really enjoyed this, especially for lunch. In fact, we think these extra cost options during lunch are a great choice over the buffet, especially at a reduced rate over the dinner service. Under maritime law, the casino opens to the public once we have traveled 12 miles from shore, and it's a full-service casino, folks. Just be aware that if you have a problem with cigarette smoke, it can get pretty bad in here, especially even in the non-smoking section. Now that we've taken a quick tour around the ship, let's go check out our stateroom because it's now ready. We are at 9516, 9th floor. We are aft in the front of the ship, and here is our stateroom, which is a ocean view, not a balcony. We're kind of hoping this one has the window that's not above the bed. So let's see what we get. Ah, there it is, the side window. I've always wanted one of these. How cool is this? Ah, staring at the beautiful port of Los Angeles. Maybe not so beautiful. We got a nice bed here. And we've got a nice couch. And we've got a nice TV. And we've got our thing here. And then our bathroom. What do we got? Regular bathroom, but you know, it's nice you got the shower doors that are not a curtain, which is kind of nice. Cool. So one thing people don't know about is open your top drawer here on the Royal Caribbean cruise and you've got what's called the breakfast menu. And a lot of people don't understand what the breakfast menu actually is, but what you can do is you can set this menu or actually hang this on your door at night, and in the morning they will deliver either a continental breakfast to you for no additional charge, and you can see there's all these different things you can order. Juices, coffees, toast, bagels, English muffins, lots of jams, jellies, and you've got some cereal there and some fruit and plain or fruit yogurt. So that all can be delivered to your room for no charge. And then if you'd like something a little more, for $7.95, you can order as much as you want from this menu. And the other thing too that people don't know about is you can also order as much food as you want at night from Royal Caribbean for the $7.95 fee as well with room service. So one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, here's the breakfast menu. Make sure you look for it at the top drawer of your Royal Caribbean cruise, and I'll be right there waiting for you. We decided to head down to the Promenade to find our friends at the Bamboo Room when we ran into the Stowaway piano player in our elevator. Yes.
You remember the movie? It is a thing. Yeah.
The Bamboo Room is unique to only 2 ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet, Navigator of the Seas and Mariner of the Seas. There's also a new Tiki concept on the new Utopia of the Seas called the Pesky Parrot. But any drink in the Bamboo Room can be ordered in this special Cliff the Parrot glass. Touring the bar, you can see there are plenty of places to sit. Now let's see if our friends are at the bar. Look at these people! Hey, hey! The 3-level main dining room on Navigator of the Seas is one of the more beautiful dining rooms on any ship. Night 1 in the main dining room was the Welcome Aboard menu with various selections including beef, chicken, and fish. All right, so what do you got here?
Got some prime.
Ooh, that looks good. What do we have over here? What is this? Oh, look at that. Wow, look at this. That looks nice. Ooh, look at this steak. Yummy. Thank you so much. After our delicious dinner, it was down to the Royal Theater for some Broadway entertainment. This venue has seating for up to 1,300 guests, and there are 2 shows nightly to accommodate dining time. So don't worry about missing any show on board. We just sat down in the Royal Theater. We're going to be looking at a new show called Ballroom Fever. So let's get into it right now. All right, we're at day 2. We're at the Solarium, which is really cool. One of my favorite parts about Navigator of the Seas is the Solarium. You got 2 hot tubs up here. You got a full bar, a nice open area with a pool, And it is 18 and over, which is very, very nice. Of course, we got the El Loco Fresh coming up here in front of me, which is extremely popular. Great tacos. We'll make some burritos. You can make yourself a little nacho plate here. And you can put some nice fresh salsas and guacamole and all that stuff on it. Although El Loco Fresh looked appetizing with the fog rolling in and our taste buds craving a good steak and fish, we decided to head over to Chop's Grill for lunch, and we weren't disappointed.
I'll get the...
I am hungry.
Looks like giant 4 pieces of shrimp, lemon, cocktail sauce.
Yummy. And I now present to you the wedge salad. There it is in all of its glory.
Trying things out here.
Wine, peppercorn, really.
Ooh, yum. Okay, I'm going to do the peppercorn.
Peppercorn. I put on the side, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Yummy. All right.
You want to try this one also?
Yeah, we'll just do 2. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Try the peppercorn first. Perfect.
So what we have here for our lunch is an herb-crusted Atlantic salmon. Don't remember the name of the sauce. Oh, it was a mustard sauce. That's right. And then we have here some sides, asparagus, Grille, tater tots, and mac and cheese.
Yummy.
Yummy.
You want to bite into that salmon?
Oh, sure.
See how good it is?
I'll try it right now. My little, that lovely skin there. The sauce. Very delicious. Alright, so we have here for dessert key lime pie. Looks very good. Alright.
Dive in. How's it taste?
Alright, let's put this meringue here.
After the wonderful lunch at Chop's Grill, we decided to do a little bit of walking it off by strolling along the decks. And we've also made a reservation to play bingo. Since the weather is a little bit foggy, I'm figuring we are going to have a packed house in the Royal Theater, so we're going to walk down here right now and find ourselves a seat. So I'm here at the bingo because it is too cold outside. It is freezing and it has been very foggy today. So we're going to play some bingo. I've got 3 bingo cards here. So what you can do is you can buy 2 bingo cards, premium bingo cards, and they'll give you the 3rd one for free. So we'll see if I can make some money today in the Royal Theater on bingo.
Bottom, okay? So as you can see there on the screen, if you complete either one, top
Yikes.
line or the bottom line, in any of your orange cards, you're gonna have a valid claim.
All right, we are at the iSkate show on a Saturday night, 7 o'clock showing, and we're just getting seated right now. We have the front row, so hopefully kind of excited for this. And then say hi, Suzanne. We have a couple friends showing up here in a minute, and then we're going to get going with the show, so stay tuned. Night 2 was Italian night, and the menu was quite extensive. So extensive, it seemed a little out of this world. Got a little beef carpaccio, got a little minestrone soup. Good stuff, man. It's really, really good. Excellent. Beautiful. That's good.
Yes, it does. It does look very good. This is one of my favorites.
Thank you.
That is so good. So good. Like, so good.
Please enjoy your dinner. Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
One of the things you get to experience as the late night crowd after 8 p.m. is the wait staff do their little dance numbers. Not only is it quite entertaining, but they're actually really, really good. After dinner, we headed over to the PG comedy show in the Royal Theater. This cruise has a number of comedians on the ship, so check your local listings on the Royal app during your cruise for comedian times and whether they are PG or R-rated. Shows typically are only in the Royal Theater and the Star Lounge.
But yo, give it up for yourselves. You made it out. Because I know it's a 10 o'clock show, but it's a PG show, and they told me I gotta be nice, so I just want to know. All the parents who brought kids, make some noise. Yeah, we hate you. We hate all of y'all. No, because they're at, mine's a 10-year-old, and they're at that age where, like, you have to do, I'm like, where'd you learn that from? I'm like, you.
After a great night of comedy, our night was still young, so at 11 p.m. we decided to join everyone on the 14th floor Cosmopolitan Club. I went ahead and took some video of the Cosmopolitan Club during the day because I really wanted to check it out, and I wanted you guys to see it during the day because now we're going to show it to you at night. But during the silent disco, everyone is given a pair of Bluetooth headphones with a little switch on the side, and you can toggle between two types of music by two different DJs. The music on Channel 1 was mostly top 40, while the Channel 2 played straight up 70s disco. I'm talking YMCA, I'm talking Staying Alive. It was a lot of fun, but it was extremely crowded. So my tip for silent disco is make sure you get there at least 15 to 20 minutes early to grab a set of headphones because they go quick, and there was a huge line of people waiting to take ours. For our Ensenada tour, we disembarked the ship around 10 a.m. for our Ensenada tour on a very nice air-conditioned motor coach. With an amazing tour guide, Kathy and Nancy are all excited to check it all out. It was only a matter of time before we were at our first destination, which was a tequila tasting. Here we had a guided tour to learn about the process of making this ancient beverage. We discovered the differences between various tequilas, including sampling Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo tequilas. One tip is if you guys don't drink, I would just say do the regular La Bufadora tour. It gives you an extra hour on site. Once we were on our way to our destination, I found Ensenada to be a very interesting city. The last two times we took this cruise, we've decided to stay on the ship on Sunday and just enjoy everything that the empty cruise ship had to offer. But this time we actually went into La Bufadora and Ensenada, and we actually had a really, really great time. Located just 17 miles north of Ensenada on the tip of Punta Bonita, La Bufadora is a natural marine geyser. When we arrived, our tour guide showed us the best places to eat and shop. And if you're thinking that the shopping is just like the cruise port by the ship, I have to tell you that it's very different and in a very, very good way. Our first and unfortunately only food stop was right near the Blowhole attraction at a restaurant that was highly recommended to us by our tour guide, and boy, did it not disappoint. We ordered the clams baked over an open flame with melted cheese, shrimp, butter, and white wine. We also ordered chicken skewers with bell peppers and onions, also very, very delicious. The food, the shopping, and the laughter was all worth it for our trip to Ensenada. It was fun, but all the good things must come to an end, and we had to go back to the ship. So we just got back from Ensenada. It was a great day. We went to La Bufadora. First time I've actually been to La Bufadora. Heard a lot about it, but every time I come to Ensenada, I seem to just stay on the ship or maybe just focus on a little bit about what's at the main port. But this time I went to La Bufadora. It was fantastic. Had a great time. It's great food. And next up, we're going to go to our final dinner, which is going to be a taste of Mexico while in Mexico, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure the food is going to be on the same level as the food we just had in La Bufadora, but we'll find out tonight. We deported Ensenada around 6 p.m. and we were sad to see it go. You can also see Carnival Radiance in the background leaving the port just before us. Now it's time to go to our final dinner of the trip. For our last dinner, we enjoyed a taste of Mexico in the main dining room. I had the pulled pork enchilada that honestly looked and tasted like a chimichanga, while Suzanne had the butter chicken and Nancy and Kathy had the spaghetti and salmon. The dinner was surprisingly tasty, but wasn't Mexican food like we just had in port, and why would it be? After dinner, we decided to catch the 70s disco party on the main promenade. This is always fun, but also a little bit of a bummer as your trip is coming to a close. We had a great weekend, and this trip reinforced our belief that Navigator of the Seas is the ultimate weekend getaway. Now that our trip is sadly over and we are back on land, Suzanne and I totaled up our weekend cruise cost and compared it to 3 of the most popular weekend getaways for Angelinos. Keep in mind these costs could be used if you're visiting LA before or after the cruise and you're looking for things to do. First up, for the comparison, each trip will be a double occupancy full service hotel. Second, the cost of gas or transportation to and from, plus any extra cost meals, entertainment, and of course gratuities. And lastly, all these cruises were booked through Hard Travel or the weekend getaways have been priced out through Expedia. Let's start with our neighbor San Diego. Putting you up at a mid-tier priced full-service hotel like Margaritaville would at least give you that fun cruise ship vibe at $1,087.32, plus meals at approximately $450 for 3 days and fuel at about $45. For the total, not including any entertainment or any extra costs, will run you about $1,582.32. Now let's look at another pricey option with a weekend in Santa Barbara. Staying at a mid-tier priced Hyatt Place hotel with a limited restaurant and a bar will run you approximately $1,611. Meals are going to be pricier at $200 a day for a total of $600. Fuel at $40, and you're looking at a total price for a weekend in Santa Barbara at $2,251. Lastly, Las Vegas is the absolute most popular weekend getaway for Angelinos. It's just far enough away to have a conversation each and every time with my wife, whether we're going to drive or fly, and some weekends it's cheaper to fly. But for this comparison, we're going to start with the mid-tier priced MGM Grand Hotel and Casino, staying on property and engaging in the same type of activities you would find on board a cruise ship. Your room is going to run you $649 out the door. Meals vary, but expect to spend about $600. Fuel is going to be a big one here, $107.60, and Vegas now charges for parking at $23 a day for a total of $66. And of course, you can't go to Las Vegas without seeing a show because you're seeing shows on the cruise ship for free. So one show with David Copperfield would run you $146. And don't forget, gratuities are the name of the game in Las Vegas. You won't get anywhere or do anything without paying gratuities. We're going to figure about $30 there. For a grand total weekend in Las Vegas of $1,595.60. All right, let's now total up our weekend cruise costs. First up, the stateroom was an ocean view guarantee, and we paid $1,081. Fuel from Pasadena to the Port of Los Angeles ran us $10, and parking was $63. We also enjoyed a Chops Grill lunch at $59.98, and we had a great La Bufadora trip in Ensenada for $149.98. And of course, gratuities of $108 for a grand total of the cruise of $1,471.96. Totaling up our 4 trips, we have Santa Barbara at no surprise at number 1 with a cost of $22.51. San Diego and Las Vegas are virtually tied at $1,582 and $1,595 respectively, but the winner here is the weekend cruise. Not only is it the cheapest option, but you could go even cheaper with an inside stateroom, no dining and no excursions, and probably get this with a 6-month or earlier booking below $1,000. One could also argue you could go to San Diego or Las Vegas for less, but that would be taking a trip at a non-full service hotel with no restaurants, bars, entertainment, or any kind of pool or recreational activities. Thank you for joining us on our ultimate Los Angeles weekend cruise getaway on Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas. We may be a new channel, but we are avid travelers, so subscribe today for cruise tips and tricks, and stay tuned for more exciting destinations on Travel Symphony.